please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Hope you're having a marvellous day today. In today's video we're going to be looking at a content creator that I closely associate with toxic positivity. Why? Because there is such a thing. If there is toxic masculinity, negativity is often considered toxic, but you don't need to put toxic in front of it. There is going to be the antithesis to that, or the absolute opposite, in case I need to spell that out. The individual in question is called Glitter and Lazers. They are body positive. They are fat acceptance. They're Tess Holiday light, with the equally irritating voice. Everything they do is a contradiction of what they are. They are the type to think you can have your cake and eat it while simultaneously doing things that make it seem like that cake is being burnt off. A plateau, as it were, where the caloric intake is insanely high and you are doing just enough to burn it all off, but keep what you have on your body because your body, your choice. I don't care for this. I think as a individual, you should choose one or the other, or have one at a set time as a reward for doing the other. This not being a daily thing. Typically those who are quite healthy have what you call a cheat meal. If you have a takeaway, please tell me in the comments what your cheat meal is if it's a takeaway. For me, my cheat meal is more than likely a Nando's. It's expensive, so it's definitely a cheap meal, and I don't have to do too much. Or the halloumi, right. It's very caloric heavy because of the halloumi. Others undoubtedly go as steak, chocolate puddings, the list goes on, alright? My cheap meal though generally is real food, so no, not McDonald's. Glitter and Lazers is the type to have all the takeaways and think because they're wearing gym clothing, suddenly this makes it okay. So let's dive into them as a creator, shall we? To learn a bit more about who Glitter and Lazers are, we go to Linktree. We find an Instagram, a YouTube, a TikTok and a Threads. I'm going to ignore Threads because I don't care about the platform. On TikTok, they have over 8.4 million followers. But all that viewership, follower-wise, their account is in decline. While the 3 pinned videos are in the millions, more recent content is in the tens of thousands, and that is the nature of that platform, by the way, because as you scroll through their account, some videos do have higher viewership, yes, but they are in decline on TikTok. On Instagram, they have just over 1 million followers, also in decline. When you head over to YouTube, they have a reasonable follower base, 2.3 million subscribers. Congratulations. They like to champion themselves on all platforms as plus-sized fashion, world travelers, interior designers. It's very interesting, you know, jack of all trades type within the vlogging world, right? They make a lot of shorts. Now those shorts find their way onto TikTok and Instagram. If you are someone that makes shorts or TikTok videos, you should consider uploading them to multiple platforms, and Glitter and Lazers does exactly that. There are a few more points we need to actually add. I should do this right. Body positivity is something that Anna, Glitter and Lazers champions. I've yet to see anything in any of her content that would say she's in the fat acceptance part. I think that's very important to distinguish because they're not always mutually exclusive. She years ago was a weight loss journey type. Her intention was to try and lose 100 pounds because she's always been big, okay? To an extent, she has over the years succeeded in a manner of looking healthier and fitter. I'm going to be judgy though, because there are some obvious problems. Okay. I have over the course of 2024 seen a number of videos shared by the likes of Alan Roberts concerning Glitter and Lazers because of what they do for body positivity, and that's where toxic positivity comes into it. We're going to delve into that, but we're going to have a look at some of her TikToks first, preferably ones without copyright music, if we can find them.
And this is something I haven't ever discussed, but maybe people could have alluded from my video.
According to Google, toxic positivity is a pattern of behavior that involves avoiding or suppressing negative emotions or invalidating them in favor of a positive outlook. It can also involve pressuring others to be positive. Now there's a great image, this image, for signs of toxic positivity. So, we're going to ignore experiencing guilt, we can ignore hiding painful emotions and dismissing others' difficult feelings. The two on the right though, reciting positive quotes about hard situations, and ignoring your problems. These two, when observing much of the content of Glitter and Lazers, seems to be the more accurate signs of toxic positivity. So about that TikTok content. In the video playing on the screen, there is some audio I can't play. Music, right? The part I want to highlight about this one that tickled me to no end was the fact that you're a champion of positivity and you will not allow anyone to stop you being you, but to turn the comments off. And you only do it on your TikTok on videos where you are clearly baiting people out for those comments. As in, you are showing as much as terms of service will allow you to show without you linking to your link tree, which for a lot of people would certainly then link to an Only Fupa Fibro-Failed Adult Film Actor account.
You lift all the weights to water. Should be your cardio. Cardio can be really hard on your joints. You should be swimming. Doesn't matter how much cardio you do if your diet's not on point. You know, your diet doesn't even matter if you're not getting enough sleep. You know, it doesn't matter how much you sleep if you're not lifting weights.
Classic deflection 101. Say everything that is said negatively about you in your own comments, although you mostly get positive comments, so this video does seem like cope, or comes across as such if you're going to hyper-focus on negativity, but as a creator I can understand doing that. I get negative comments and they're one of the first things I notice. To make a video spoofing it as a way of deflecting. Some of your videos, the more noteworthy ones that do their rounds on social media, share to the likes of platforms like X or Twitter, usually involve ones where you're dancing, like the one playing on the screen. This is undoubtedly where the more judgy aspects of human nature come to the surface. I take no issue with an individual doing stuff like this at all. I really don't. And I'm super impressed that you were doing this and leaving the comments on. The judgy part of the internet usually comes from the fact that you are a very big individual and these moves don't look right. But again, that's the human nature judginess, okay?
Oh, it's super cute. It laces up on the side and then the top is, oh, that's cute. That is way cute.
The reason I've posted this one with a bikini try-on in the home is because over the years, going back as far as 2018, Glitter and Lazers has gotten into hot water for in public wearing bikinis. Now, I take no issue with anyone wearing anything, anywhere, as long as you abide the rules of the building, the private property, the country, okay? So I can't imagine she'll be doing this in Saudi Arabia, although if she does do it, it'll be one time in front of the Kaaba, and she'll never be seen again. Now, I earlier mentioned the judgy nature of humans on purpose to set up this issue. Okay? Again, I take no issue with someone being empowered enough to wear whatever they want. My personal opinion on this is irrelevant. It really is. Back in 2018, she was in Vegas and she took this picture. Security collared her and she changed into a one-piece and got collared again. She posted this to Instagram, this one of her in a bikini, explaining that she did in fact have the permission of the managers to take this photo in the first place. Now, the hotel did point out later, while she did have permission, she did not, in the lobby, you are actually requested to cover up. But because she's a social media influencer, she wanted that kind of picture. I had to steal this picture from another YouTuber's video, I do apologise. The reason I stole it is because she posts Glitter and Laser, that is, far too much on her Instagram for me to go and find the picture. Now, not long after, she went to Times Square. In doing so, she got a lot of feedback from the public, the oikari, who said some rather negative things about her. She made another post talking about empowering body positivity. These two instances propelled her into the spotlight. And so for the past 5 years, she has ridden that wave, milked it dry, and used it to promote her message. Now, I say toxic positivity. That doesn't mean she's a nice person. I've always got the impression from observing her content that she is not a nice person, that everything is 100% put on. You can tell with the way someone presents themselves. It's less about being positive, but presenting it as toxic positivity, but really it's sticking it to everyone and being quite nasty in the process. With this fame comes opportunity. That opportunity included sponsorships, endorsements, many collaborations, a better quality of life for the raised Mormon individual person. Doodah. Right.
That's not what this is about.
Another instance where Glitter and Lazers got into some drama, as it were, concerned when they tried to document and talk about a weight loss journey. The video you've seen playing in the background of much of what you've seen today is the very video where they did discuss it. And they got a lot of backlash from one person, and it's always the same type of person, this being Flo, because how dare somebody who is overweight talk about their desire to lose weight? It's very much a hive mind of, you're one of us. How dare you turn around and say all these things that are true about bad health and seek out a way to improve the situation? How dare you do that? I can sit here all day and crap on the disingenuous nature of the workouts because it doesn't seem to line up with what you're doing and how you look. I can do that all day. In fact, that's why I started with it, because I wanted to make the point that just because she goes on a weight loss journey, which we're going to talk about in a moment, and certainly this Flo nonsense, doesn't mean she's been remotely successful, although there is some lipedema stuff to go through as well. Yeah. This is what Flo said.
Recently, a popular plus-size YouTuber is starting on a weight loss journey. I know that you guys might think I have a lot of opinions about people who choose to lose weight. I actually don't have many opinions on people who choose to lose weight. I think that your body's your body and that you can do anything you want with your body. I also think that YouTube is a very big platform. I think that where we run into problems is when people who are trying to change their body act like their old body suck. There are lots of people who lose weight and diet and start exercising and stuff that somehow manage to not make people feel alienated. It's totally possible. It's a thing that people do all the time. When you make people feel alienated and like you think that you're going to be better than them when you lose weight, that's when people start having a problem, I think.
I'm starting to understand why your channel hasn't grown in 5 years. Congratulations. Along with why you turned the like to dislike off but didn't turn the comments off. If you get bored, go look the video up and read them. The level of sycophant is quite impressive. Now, an important point that I need to share comes directly from Glitter and Laser's Truth About My Weight video, 8 minutes 10 seconds in, where she says the following.
I find myself realizing that there's more things in my life that need to change. That there are still pieces of my heart that are broken. And that the only way I'm going to fix them is to make some changes in my life.
Honesty, opening up about your struggles, is always very important, and I'm not going to denigrate that in the slightest. I am going to be critical of somebody who goes on a claimed weight loss journey where they spend time taking weight loss medication to then put out TikToks on hypothetical queries or comments about how they got there without surgery, or how did they do it without surgery, when you don't mention the medication you were taking. By that I mean, you implied it was all down to working out. It wasn't. You used what I've dubbed with Amber and Reed a cheat code. With you, it's an assistance. I'll concede that, but only when you take back the fact you disingenuously frame this as if it was all you going to the gym. I will champion anyone that loses weight when they need to, and you need to. Although, to be honest, you're still really large. So there are many issues you have, especially because of what you like to pigeonhole one of your major problems onto. And that is your lipedema, whatever it's called. The swollen legs. The ones that had all that for some goodies for others choking hazard on.
People like to say a lot of mean things about my body. They like to remind me how big I still am, how I haven't lost enough weight. They even say I'm lying about my journey.
You may well have noticed in many of her videos, certainly the content that garnered her the most attention, her legs were what stood out the most. Lipedema is a long-term condition that causes abnormal fat buildup in the lower part of the body. It most often involves backside, thighs, and calves. Some have it in their hips or upper arms. For Glitter and Lasers, it is basically hips and down. You can tell, certainly when she was doing the body positive of wearing bikinis in various locations of her house. I'm not going to denigrate, again, I'm going to state this, anyone who has this condition. There are some people who I will actively question having it, like Amber Reed, because I'm pretty sure at this point she's two-dimensional and in South Park. Give it time, she's yet to move there, she may well do so. In the case of Glitter and Lasers, this condition has been a very long-term problem they've had. They have actually started documenting their journey for having surgeries to remove as much of this as possible. Congratulations on that. Again, I can find many holes to poke here, but now some of it's being removed. Glitter and Lasers is starting to work out more. In much of the content she was posting, there were some rather poor messages within it, pre the surgery, that I want to poke at a little. But I'm going to use another content creator to do so, because they say it better.
I respect the fact that she exercises regardless of the results that she gets. She's at least doing it half right, and that's more than most of you fat activists can say. But I still have a problem with her content.
It doesn't matter how well I take care of myself. My lipidemic fat will always be there.
Okay, what about the rest of you? It's true that lipidemic tissue can only be surgically removed, not burned, but what about the rest of the fat on your body? Yeah, I know, I'm an ass. But this does pose the question. We asked the ladies of the internet, is it possible to be obese solely with lipedema? Oh my god. Yes, Queen, it's totally not her fault. Survey says...
So herein lies the other issue when it comes to a weight loss journey. I fully support having surgery to remove lipedema, yes, lipsicle, that name, the fat on the legs, hips, okay? I fully support that, because we now know that is the best way to do it. 100%. But with that gone, are we going to expect improvements for the rest of the body? And are you going to espouse that the legs were holding you back? Because I've seen those videos of you working out and your form isn't horrendous. With that amount of form not being horrendous, and you actually doing some form of working out, yes, like the gentleman said, half right, you would expect some results for the upper body, and you have been doing a lot of core workouts. So why hasn't there been? It would be very dishonest to say that the lipedema is holding the rest of you back. And that, along with your false positivity messages, which are all from a place of dishonesty, lends credence to the disdain that many feel towards you because you are not what you claim to be. The lipedema is a separate issue, by the way. Again, you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who would genuinely find issue with that, because it is a medical condition that can be treated, and you have sought treatment for it. However, and it is important to note, with that dishonesty I earlier mentioned, even with the claims of accountability, you were never honest to yourself or to your audience, and you built a name and reputation and brand off of that dishonesty. That's where my issue resides. Now, since having the first surgery, of course she had to take some time off. Understandably so. She did release a video of her first session back at the gym. Important to note, to do things that she loves to do, she does have to wear compression clothing. This helps her legs. I think it's a drainage thing. I vaguely remember this with a step-grandfather years ago in his calf. It is a thing. Totally understandable. I'm somewhat baffled though, because one of the easiest exercises available to her, it's not one of the ones she's going to for longer term solutions, and that would be walking. If you do walking with a steady incline, there's your exercise right there. You do a lot of it, and you're burning a lot of calories. It's a very simple way of ensuring your body is getting the most out of what you put in, right? All you have to do is put some music on, but you are obsessed with going to the gym and doing other forms of training, none of which actually do much in the way of benefiting in the fat burning sense, right? Your obsession with claiming to want to do something on a weight loss journey seems superficial. This is something acknowledged in the comments of the first workout video back on your YouTube channel, since having the surgery, that is. The comments are golden, by the way, and you got mostly dislikes on this video. Just.
Okay, so this is the hotel gym. I am getting my workout routine from an app called Trainwell. It used to be called Copilot. I used them before my surgery. I love them, so it just made the easiest thing to transition back into it. I'm a little nervous, so I just want to make sure that I'm doing like a little bit extra to warm myself up before I actually get to lifting anything.
Okay, I'm gonna be that guy. I understand recovery, I really do, but at that point you may as well have walked down the stairs, up the stairs, down the stairs, up the stairs to warm yourself up, because the pace you're doing on a treadmill is barely any different than going out for a walk. That might be slower, in fact.
What up now? 30 seconds of windmill. Woo.
I honestly could sit here all day and criticize your form, but then I also have to accept this is your first workout back. However, quite interestingly, a lot of your earlier workouts pre-surgery were no different in form. So really, you're not accomplishing much or you haven't for some time. Now I'd like to move on to one last thing concerning your taste in fashion, because you like to release your own clothing from time to time. You're very confident with what you choose to wear, so confident that it bleeds into what you produce as a creator. As we were gearing up for Christmas, you released a new range of clothing for Christmas, or as I call it, Moistmas. Many of the comments, even though this video was positively received, centered around the fact that it isn't as inclusive as it looks, because your sizes, while going up in many X's, were still very tight, not only on you but for others. Or the sweaters, for example, these Christmas jumpers, the ugly Christmas jumpers of old, these aren't really that ugly though anymore, are they? Were too short. Now for those who are bigger, you want longer bodied clothing. For those who have long bodies, you want longer bodied clothing. The torso is important here. Not everyone wants to show their midriff when they lift their arms up, or raise them to pick up a fork. Glitter and Laser promotes her own clothing brand stuff, and that's totally fine. Many of the comments I've seen within those detractors center around the fact that she does not fit into the clothing she's promoting. She is squeezing herself into a sausage skin. Not everyone has her confidence, and the inability to perceive that seems to be on her as well. Although I should point out, the video where she does a try-on haul for the Christmas clothing gives off the impression she is looking better, right? She's not, yet. But there is always a chance that there will be a change in the future for her, if she improves her form and stops eating so much. No point lying about it, because to be that size, you have to be eating more than what you claim to be in your YouTube content. Okay?
That condition to work with all of this.
I probably should have included this sooner. There's one last thing we have to address. It's called addiction. Whether it be a slave to your sponsors because you're addicted to that form of validation, whether it be the addiction to social media to the point you will perpetuate a lie to drive home the point that you are better than your haters, whether it be your addiction to food, which was best demonstrated when you walked around New York City to find a bagel, which we all know you ate. Come on, don't try us. The walk was something though, I'll give you credit for that. You have personality traits that are very addictive by nature, and because of that, I find it hard to believe you'll ever go beyond where you are now without constantly seeking medical help. But you're too proud for many things. For example, when you started working out again, the one thing that would have benefited you would have been having a PT. Someone there to guide you to ensure not only your form was great, but you were getting the most out of your workouts. But something you like to do is independence. So yes, pride and addiction are two personality traits you possess in abundance. No, they were not stored in your legs. With that constant need for validation, where she has, let's face it, a parasocial relationship with her audience, you can safely surmise there is much in the way of negativity within her that will never find its way to improving who she wants to be, so instead she will just go wholeheartedly with what she has, in the belief that this is the very best version of her. You can argue this is in fact the very best version of her, because it plateaued a few years back, and she milked it. Which is why she had all those collaborations, all those sponsorship deals. Which is why she's done so well, and is able to do try-on hauls of all these different types. Why she's able to go to many different gyms and travel to multiple different countries. Although unless she's in control, she does get a bit aggy, let's face it here. She's well known for that. I would love to see her go to somewhere like Osaka, just to see how the locals respond to seeing her, because in other countries, you get judged hard. I mentioned Osaka on purpose, because this has happened before with those who are plus-sized, let's go with that. And they took it really badly. And to demonstrate some of this, we have to go to Threads. But I can't be bothered to log in on my browser, so I'm going to go to another YouTuber, because they covered this beautifully. It appears to be where she lets her mask slip and says a few things that reek of something else.
I don't think she expected anyone to ever criticize things that she says there, because she says some really out-of-pocket on Threads. About a week ago, she said, "My biggest medical pet peeve is every time I go to the doctors, invariably a thin man is sitting in the limited plus-size seating. He is man-spreading away while I'm forced to cram myself into a seat that puts pressure on the outsides of my legs that are still healing." This is a very common, fat activist talking point, I guess you'd say. I agree, everyone should be able to sit down, especially in a doctor's office. But also, I think if you're at the point where you can't fit into a seat at the doctor's office. Boy, how is that not a wake-up call? You know what I'm saying?